Welcome, folks, to Dom and Newall. This is Wall speaking. I'm
Yeah,
here with your host, Dominic Augustine.
well, you're
And,
you're also one of the hosts too, Jordan.
and I'm the other host.
I agree. I agree with that. We need you to be one of the hosts here.
Oh, yes, that there's no show about both of us.
Exactly. So
All
I
right,
mean,
let's get down to business.
so basically, this show we're just going to talk about the trade deadline, and unfortunately, we wanted to do a trade deadline episode like right after the trade deadline happened, but real
Yeah,
life caught
but
up to us, and
shit happened, and I think you will understand people.
I mean, let's be honest, ISHL is always second fiddle to real life happenings. Especially me, like
Indeed.
I got a ton of homework, and I'm still working on homework as we speak. So
I'm slaving away on a course, so you can understand my spectrum from Dom's.
exactly, I mean, so you know what we're dealing with here. We'll talk about a little bit about the trade deadline deals. I mean, contrary to popular belief, more than one trade made deals at the trade deadline. It wasn't just Brooklyn with somebody else. Also, after the trade deadline talk, we will cover a little bit of Brooklyn news because we don't. Not much has happened since the trade deadline. Let's be honest.
Nothing much has happened, but the injury game has really caught us up.
And the fact that we're a Brooklyn kind of talk show for the
Oh,
ISHL.
yeah.
It's
All you haters out there, be hating.
so like it's a Brooklyn show, so just fucking deal with it
Well,
if you don't
just
like it.
just bear with us if you can, if you're still listening at this point.
All right, so let's just get right onto it.
Let's
I
get
mean,
into the topic here.
so the first
So
trade, yeah,
we fired off the day with the Riga trade between Brooklyn and Riga, and trading our faithful captain, Ignacio Marino, Mr. Morrow, and Kempson in order to get Joshua Howe, Mr. Lake, and Mr. Hugart.
so if you guys are following that, it's basically Marino who was our team captain. He's a B-rated defenseman. You had Matt Morrow, Captain America as he was known as, and
And
supposed to be an activity boost, but he didn't
he
do so
kind of
well in that
fell off the
respect.
face of Terra.
Exactly. And then he was a left wing. He is a left wing. He's a C-rated left wing.
He
And
read
you have
left wing and he threw away Kempson. I don't know who the hell he was.
that was Will Kemp. He was our goalie, and he
Oh, is
was
he a Russian now or what?
I don't know. He jumped ship now. So on the Riga end of the trade, we have Joshua Howe, a center, and he's B-rated. He's very active, one of our most
Very
active
active
players right
kid. I
now.
like him already.
And
Or
you have winger
now,
Victor Hugart,
yeah,
who's
Hubert is a good person.
he's
As long as he
D-rated.
picks up activity, he's good.
I mean, he has been active since he's been traded, and
Well,
that's always nice to
he's
see.
been trying to pick that up.
So that's good. And then you have Mike Lake, probably the steal
Uh,
of the trade, in my
Stealing the
opinion.
trade is Mike Lake. He's our statistics guy, and he knows his shit.
Exactly. Like he instantly became Brooklyn's stat guy. I mean, O'Mara was handling all the stats before, but he was also doing like everything else. He's the GM of the team.
Oh yes, El Capitan can do everything he wants to do.
Well,
No one
anyway,
can tell him why he cannot do.
well, I agree with that. He's handling his shit, even though he catches a lot of crap for being Tyler O'Mara.
Oh yes,
And then I think short term Brooklyn wins the trade because they
Brooklyn
have
wins that
three
by a
active
landslide.
guys. But later, if Mourinho can stay active and help Riga out on the defensive end, they're going to be winners of the trade too. This is a trade that
Oh yeah, for sure. It'll be a win-win on both sides if he can pick it up.
I think it's a great trade for both teams. The
And
Stockholm
it'll
Arrows traded Laurie Latella, an E-rated defenseman.
for a fourth-round draft pick from London.
All right, so it's a depth move. The London
Yeah, it's a bit of a
get a short term.
logistics move.
They get a short term depth defenseman, and the Arrows get a fourth round pick out of it. So
Yeah.
so the trade after that was announced. It involves Wheeler's former team, the Montreal Wanderers. They traded Jessica Stieg, D-rated
For Mr.
center.
T.J. Harris.
Yeah, they get T.J. Harris, who's big in his own right. as far as activity went. But both of them are low rated. Both of them were big in the BHL, more fourth wall breaking there. And I don't know, they could have been. I mean, I think they were active at one point, but now that they're low
Oh,
rated, they're kind of
yeah,
fallen into
but
obscurity.
I think they just decided to say, "Oh, screw that! Let's focus on the alternate universe."
Well, I mean, they could still be useful. This is more of a depth move though, kind of like the
Well, yeah,
last deal.
it's a death move. Yes, I agree with you.
Now, the last two trades that happened on the deadline both
Was
involve Brooklyn again, and this is right
yeah,
in our alley. We know perfectly how these deals are going to affect us. So this next deal, the Brooklyn Admirals traded a season 6 round 2 draft pick that was originally from Mississauga to Montreal, Wheeler's former team, for
yeah,
defenseman Eric Schlottman.
Schlottman. Yes,
Man,
Schlottman.
I think he jumped right into the second pairing to fill the gap that Mourinho left
Oh yes, for
when the
sure.
next trade happened. And he's been doing pretty damn good so far with us.
He needs to be active more.
I think he can stay active. And I think one of the people that'll help him stay active is going to be discussed in this next trade. I mean, for now, I think this trade could work either way. If
Oh
Schlottman
yeah,
is active, if he is active again, then
yeah,
Brooklyn wins this, depending
yeah.
on the draft. But
Hmm.
if he's not active, I mean, Montreal could easily win this trade.
Oh yes,
I mean,
Kempen and Ziegel can deal with him that later. Whoever that draft pick is.
I'm not a big fan of Mika, but that's because he didn't want to come to play for Brooklyn.
No, no. The last trade would be the Kinky Kel and Jacoby we sent to Milwaukee. Ooh.
And we landed Sir Trevor Cardinal,
The
a
classy sniper
superstar,
himself.
a superstar in his own right.
Yeah.
Probably head and shoulders above most forwards in this league.
And we also stole a draft pick from them, which was originally London's.
Get around two back from Milwaukee that we traded in the previous deal that I just mentioned. And this
Yeah.
one's very interesting because in the short term, people would
We
say,
got we chucked
well, you
rid of
know,
we chucked out two guys for the classy sniper.
I mean, in the short term, I think Milwaukee wins this deal because of the sheer talent that they're getting. Marcus Jacoby, he's going to drop off next year. He's not been active. I mean, real life
Yeah.
caught up with him.
Sounds like real life just fucked them over.
I mean, that'll happen, and it's unfortunate, but you have to handle it.
Yeah.
You can't just live on ISHL.
Aye, indeed.
And Kinky Kel Schwentak, just
Swintek bomb.
he's a ridiculous talent in his own right, and he's only going to get better. He's
Yeah.
already an A plus this year, and it's what his second season or something.
Yeah.
He's just a ridiculous player.
And this is why I like Australians.
And he works hard, he plays hard, he's very active, he's funny. He's one of the perfect defensemen you could have on a team.
Yeah.
He was easily our best defenseman. And the fact that we're getting Trevor Cardinal kind of numbs the pain a little bit. But in the short term, just because of the sheer talent they're getting.
In the short term, we may have lost that one, but
But next season,
the classy sniper is going to benefit us.
oh yeah, and he's still active too.
Oh, yes.
And when you consider that, I mean, we're automatically going to have an A player in Trevor Cardinal next year. And
But the big question is, can you replace two A-rated players for one
I don't
person?
think